That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.
Zoe led me to the last tent, which looked no different from the others, and waved me inside. Bianca D'Angelo was seated next to the auburn-haired girl, who I still had trouble thinking of as Artemis. Inside of the tent was warm and comfortable. Silk rugs and pillows covered the floor. In the center, a golden brazier of fire seemed to burn without fuel or smoke. Behind the goddess, on a polished oak display stand, was her huge silver bow, carved to resemble gazelle horns. The walls were hung with animal pelts, black bear, tiger, and several others I didn't recognize. I figured an animal rights activist would have had a heart attack looking at all those rare skins. Maybe since Artemis was goddess of the hunt, she could replenish whatever she shot. I thought she had another animal pelt lying next to her. Then I realized it was a live animal, a deer with glittering fur and silver horns, its head resting contentedly in Artemis's lap.
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Ray from Cabin 12.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13. And I think we actually stuck the landing on the intro for this.
What are the odds?
You know, I don't know. The odds...
Against all odds.
Yeah. That I was going to say something, and then I had, nothing. I told you, my brain is just fried today.
Oh, this will be a fun one. We are both going through it a little bit, I think, guys, so sorry if the energy is not quite there.
The energy is, just weird right now. It's fine. But I still have a lot to say about everything Artemis-related.
I see that.
I told you, I have big feelings. That's why I was like, we gotta fucking, just record this, because I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. Yeah, we're making a choice, this week. What is this damn chapter about?
All right. So, the person who makes a choice is Bianca. Specifically, Bianca D'Angelo makes a choice. That's what happens.
Wow. It's almost like that's a chapter title.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so, as much as, there are, a lot of important things. This is actually a pretty plot-light chapter. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get our recap of the series premise, because we're explaining it to Bianca, so that is helpful. Yeah. Apparently, when Annabeth fell over a cliff, she disappeared, and we seem only vaguely concerned about that. Artemis asks to talk to Bianca. Talia yells at Percy a little bit, and Grover babysits Nico. They talk about card games. And then Percy tells Artemis about what Dr. Thornstead said about the Great Stirring and the General, and she seems to have some sort of idea what this means, but because this is a Rick Riordan book, and we need to, keep the tension, built up, we can't actually explain anything. So she's just pray that I'm not right. And he's like, you're a goddess, can you pray? And she's like, hee, you're a funny little guy.
I love that, though.
Yeah. So Artemis says she's got to go off and do this herself, because it's going to be too dangerous for the hunters. So they're going to go with the protagonists to Camp Half-Blood with Apollo. He's gonna bring us a ride, so that'll be fun. And Bianca pledges herself to Artemis, becoming effectively immortal. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's not much happens, but that's kind of big.
Indeed.
Okay. big life decisions made in this chapter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's fucking talk about Artemis. So, in case you missed it, but yeah, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna save Artemis. First, I'm gonna talk about let's see if I can pronounce this word. Oh, is it a hard K sound? It's spelled with a C. It's one of those where it's in Greek it's probably a K sound, but most English words it's
Indeed.
The deer. It's the deer that she has in this chapter. It's Cerinian hind? Carinian hind?
One of those two things.
I think, Yeah. It's a deer. It's a cool little deer, and it's sacred to Artemis.
I'm excited to discover that that's actually a thing, because I was figuring that was just, like, flavor. Like, that just seems like something she would have, but...
Okay. So, I saw it in the chapter as, like, a throwaway line, and I'm like, wait, that's just there? It's just sitting there? I mean, it makes sense, but also, like, right, draw attention to things once in a while and be like, oh yes, this is my magical familiar. Just have Artemis, like, do that for, like, 2 seconds. just say that.
Maybe it comes up later, I don't know, but
I
also
don't
that's
think
a
it
little
does.
fun that that's just, like, a little flavor.
Yeah, so, it's a giant fucking deer with golden antlers, and hooves of bronze, and it's oh god, it snorts fire. I didn't remember that detail. You ever just snort fire?
I could if I felt like it.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. But this is important because it was actually one of the labors of Heracles.
Oh, that's where I've heard that name before, or, like, seen it. That makes some sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where he kind of got off pretty easily, because Artemis was like, okay, just, like, bring it back when you're done. Like, he had to capture it and bring it as one of, his labors for killing his family, but just brought it, and then it ran right back after he showed it to the king. It's just like a cool little thing, and, like, it hunts with her. It's interesting that it has, like, its own specific region. Oh yeah, it's because it's Cyrenian hind, so it's, like, from Carinthia, Greece, I guess, I would assume.
There's something on here about the one that Heracles captures. She purposely lets escape onto this Cyrenian hill, so apparently that's a place.
Yeah, makes sense.
Anyways, it's basically the most beautiful, perfect deer.
It is.
Which,
that's the point of it.
Everyone loves a beautiful deer. You ever see a beautiful deer?
Yeah. Also, apparently, there's literally a spot here where they're basically questioning the gender identity of this deer. Because it's like, is it a stag or is it a hind? Because it's got antlers, but
but it's
female deer can sometimes get antlers. I'm pretty sure they can. Like, not usually extensively gigantic ones, but, like, I'm pretty sure that's a thing that they sometimes can have.
I think it...
So
I don't know enough about deer to actually speak intelligently about this, but I think that it depends on the type.
Yeah, it probably does depend on the type as well. Yeah, but, like, it's also a fucking magical deer.
So, like, yeah, if she wants horns, she can have them.
Regardless of what this deer was assigned at birth, I'm pretty sure it identifies as female, because it's related to Artemis, so it must be a woman.
Do you think Artemis would have a male deer? Absolutely not.
Doe, a deer.
A female deer.
I should have planned for that. Okay.
That'll be fun to sync in editing.
Let's talk about the woman herself, Artemis.
Yes.
The goddess of the hunt, the wilderness, wild animals, nature, vegetation, childbirth, the moon, and chastity.
Childbirth is interesting, because that's, like, the opposite of chastity.
Okay. So, I have a story for that one. So, she technically helped birth her brother.
Okay.
She helped her mom while she was in labor. Because Artemis was born first of the twins. And then a few days later, Apollo was born.
Okay.
And she helped her mother.
Oh, okay.
She was like a midwife to her mom.
For her twin brother. Okay.
Yes. She's a goddess.
Gods are great.
She's a goddess.
I guess that's allowed.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Artemis. She's so wild.
The vibes really are impeccable.
Yeah. Okay, so interesting how, like, looking at just, like, the Wikipedia page, there's, like, the 2 different lists of, like, what she's goddess of. One of them says sudden death as a thing she's the goddess of.
Sorry. That killed me a little bit. That's so good.
Yeah, it did kill you, because it's sudden death.
Yeah, I know.
Artemis, goddess of the sudden death round.
Like, I know what that means in context. It's like if someone suddenly dies, that it's like, but Goodness, it's so funny.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. So she also, like Apollo, she has her own like cool chariot and such, and it's driven by like golden deer, basically like the hind.
Right.
So just a bunch of those.
That's what I was reading on the other one, that the hind is one of her deer that she let go for Heracles.
Yeah, so she's got her own like Santa sleigh going on there.
It's so good.
It's literally deer. So flying around as the moon. Santa is Artemis. Canon? Canon.
Artemis could Santa if she wanted to.
I need like art of the goddess Artemis just wearing like a Santa suit now, or at least just the hat at least.
But also she only brings gifts to girls.
Oh my god! but specifically only like young maidens.
Of course.
Because that's her whole thing. Okay. So we have to discuss the whole young maiden thing, which like God, there's like a whole thing about that, specifically around like the culture in Greece, which technically it just means unmarried woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's just the goddess who didn't want to marry and was the patron of unmarried women.
Makes
Not
sense.
necessarily young girls.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of interpretations there. There's the people who interpret her as asexual or a lesbian. And then there's the people who also are like, oh, but she had a thing with Orion, so like, you know. Also, that's just incorrect. She did not have a thing with Orion. Later writers were like, oh yeah, she had a thing with him. No, she didn't, guys. I want people to stop saying that. It angers me because he literally chased after her hunters and was like, oh, I want to fuck all of you. And they were like, no, bud.
Oh, that's so uncomfortable in this context because they're all like 12.
In this context, yes.
Sorry, I'm back on the book, but yeah. Oof. Gross.
Yeah.
But so according to what you're saying in
the other context,
in the actual Greek context, they would not need to be like 12. They could be whatever age. They just can't have ever married anyone. They could be adult women.
Yeah. They could be adult women. Okay, but like the best thing here is so Artemis is one of the only goddesses, like Athena and Hestia, that Aphrodite has no power over. Iconic. Iconic. Love that for them. Ugh.
That implies ace to me. Because
It does. Okay, so my personal headcanon for Artemis is that she's an aro ace lesbian. Like, you know, she doesn't want, like, romantic things, she doesn't want sexual things, she doesn't have those attractions, but, like, she's got those, like, women relationships. Very strong women relationships.
That kind of makes sense to me. Yeah, like an almost like platonic female-oriented,
like a queer platonic kind of thing, like oriented. Yeah, I'm not great at aspec wording because I am not, but I'm doing my best here.
No, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, our Artemis. Let's see. I always love looking at the etymology. Do we have anything cool going on here? Oh, right. Her name possibly has relationships to the word bear. Like that. That's cool. Ooh, great, excellent, holy. Bullshit. Okay, someone is like, her name means the thrower of the dart, or the shooter.
Huh.
I like that. The stainless maiden. Oh my god. Yeah, some of these are very interesting, but, like, the bear thing makes sense based on, the whole story with Callisto, which is, one of her many hunters. One of her many, they're not technically the hunters of Artemis, per se, in mythology, they're just, like, her followers.
Yeah, that's sort of what I wanted to ask you, like, how mythologically based is this group of girls?
They don't have a name, they're just, like, her followers, her besties. That's basically it. They would just, like, you know, chill around with her. Nymphs, usually. I don't actually know of many half-bloods per se.
Hmm.
Demigods. It's usually nymphs. The big ones are the Pleiades, which are, they become a star cluster. What are they like? What do they do? I don't actually remember what they do, but they become stars. Regardless, one of them is actually Hermes' mom.
Oh.
And it's weird because I guess it's weird for them because like I literally was looking them up. I'm like, okay, so who would be a hunter, quote unquote,
Right.
in mythology? And like they're them, the Pleiades, and they all have relationships with men. Like literally every single one of them has a boyfriend. But most of her girlfriends don't. Girlfriends as in,
Right.
you know. Girlfriends are girlfriends. Same thing.
I wonder...
But, yeah.
It's rather implied in our book that you can't become a hunter if you're, like, attracted to men at all. I would probably prefer a Artemis who is, like, chill. Like, if you... like, who didn't care about, like, virginity as such. It's more like, if you renounce men after this point, then you can pledge yourself to me. But that would just be my preference. You know?
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah,
Mostly because virginity is bullshit, but...
Yeah. God, I started talking about Callisto, I think, and then I did not. But basically, Callisto was one of the hunters, followers of Artemis, who, broke her vow, but, like, is because of Zeus. It's not a fun situation. So,
yeah.
Zeus disguised himself as Artemis.
Oh, no.
And Callisto lay with Zeus as Artemis. So, she really liked Artemis, I guess.
There's that at least, but also,
Yeah,
that's
not great.
fucked.
and because of this, Artemis turned her into a bear. It's difficult to say if it was like for good reasons or for bad reasons.
If it's a punishment or a protection.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like, Yeah, Artemis doesn't always have a great look sometimes. She's one of those where kind of punishes.
Well, I don't think anybody has a great look. Gods suck.
Yeah, oftentimes they kind of suck. That's the thing about the Greek gods. They're often, like, fallible. That's the whole thing about them. They're very fallible. But also, sometimes Artemis had male hunters.
Oh.
Like, sometimes Actaeon is one of her hunters, and he's the guy who sees her naked, bathing, and she's like, dude, no, boundaries. And he's like, shit, I didn't mean to, I'm sorry, but she still turns him into a stag, and he's eaten by his hunting dogs, so... It's fine. It's fine.
The Mechanisms have a song about that.
Of course they do! Of course they fucking do. Yeah, so, like, usually her followers are women, but sometimes they're men. Very rarely. They're, like I said, sometimes Actaeon's a follower, sometimes he's not. There's also Hippolytus, who is a son of Theseus, our boy, who sucks ass. I fucking hate him. But, yeah, he, like, renounces Aphrodite, and he's like, nah, I don't want any of that stuff. I'm gonna hang with Artemis, because I'm Arrow Ace. Like, that's literally basically his whole thing. He's like,
Good
nah.
for him.
And, yeah, for 5 seconds, because, you know, he renounced Aphrodite.
Oh. Oof. Can she just chill?
No, she can't chill, because then she has to make his stepmom fall in love with him, and that's just a whole big mess, and he ends up dying, and she ends up dying, and yeah. It's not great. It's not great. Yeah. There's also some fun stuff about Artemis and Apollo's birth. So, because, you know, they were children of Zeus, but not with Hera. Their mom was Leto, who is a Titan goddess? Question mark. One of those. I mean, she's a children of Titan, so it's hard to say.
So she's divine.
Yeah. Divine being. Hera was like, no, you're just not gonna, like, give birth.
Oh, I remember that.
Like, I'm gonna make it so, like, nowhere on Earth you can give birth. So, sometimes she kidnaps the goddess of childbirth, sometimes, but, Leto eventually gives birth on the, I think it's the Isle of Delos, yes. It's, like, not a proper island, it's, like, I don't know, sometimes it's just described as, like, a weird island that's, like, not really an island or something. I don't know. I'm very confused on it.
I remember something about that. Like, there's some kind of loophole because she can't give birth on land or something, and so...
Yeah, but it describes it as being, like, an island, technically. I don't know. I feel... When I first read the story, I imagine it being, like, floating in midair, and then, like, after... like, the whole giving birth, it becomes an actual island. Like, I don't know. That was just, like, my mental image of how it works, but yeah. And then I already said Artemis is born first. So, that's a whole thing. And, you know, Artemis, daughter of Zeus, is like, hey, daddy, can I, like, have some things? I'd like some wishes to be granted of mine. I'd like to always be a virgin. I like to have a magic bow and arrow. God, there's literally a fucking list of, like, 10 things here. But to have many names that set her apart from her brother. To be the Lightbringer. To have, like, a short tunic so I could hunt. What the like, specifically a knee-length tunic so I could, like, run around and shit.
Good for her.
Oh, okay. Here's some, like, kind of Hunters of Artemis shit going on here. To have 60 daughters of... Well, it's spelled with a K, but it's usually Oceanus, but I guess this is Okeanos. All 9 years of age. So those are children. They're all gonna be her besties, I guess. To have 20... Amnesides nymphs? They're river nymphs. As handmaidens, Jesus, to rule all the mountains, to be assigned any city, and only to visit when called by birthing mothers, and have the ability to help women in the pains of childbirth. God, there's just so many fucking things. Like, she just wants it all.
Girl knows what she wants. I respect it.
Yeah. I love that there's just a whole section on relations with men. There's just a few guys that are like, yeah. There's a lot of things going on with her.
I like that there's a couple of guys in there. Like, yeah. I sort of thought that I wouldn't, but when I think about it, it's like, I don't know, it just seems nice that it's like, you know what, you're chill, you can come.
You know what I like? Okay, there's the whole, like, Hunters of Artemis, they're just, like, a tribe of lesbians. Okay, I mean, sure. But can we instead have, like, Artemis just be the goddess of, like, the community? Just the queers. Like, that's what I personally see going on here. The more I look into her and all of the different people she's the patron of, it's, like, a lot of the times it's A-spec people, sometimes it's women loving women, and then there's also just, like, some guys thrown in there. Who's to say what their feelings are? Who's to say what some of those women's feelings are? Because, like, some of them don't have full stories about them. They're just, like, she followed Artemis. She was cool. But, like, I'm just saying, Artemis, goddess of just the LGBTQIA plus community? Yes? Yeah?
Yeah, right? Right? Yeah.
Like, just saying here. Can we get more of that instead of, you know, putting her in a box of, like, all these things? Like, she can identify a certain way, but she can also accept all of them. Like, she even has a trans follower in some stories. Cypriotes? I can't remember how the story goes, but it's something like, was born a man. I think Artemis turned her into a girl, and then she's like, yeah, can I just join you and be a hunter? Like, I'm cool with this. It's like, so Artemis also said trans rights. Let's be clear about this. Artemis said rights.
Yeah. It seems like people want to make it into, like, this very gender essentialist thing. And that's not what I want it to be. And I don't think that that's what the original myths are.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that.
As much as, like, Greek society and storytelling is, like, really bad and weird about lots of gender and sex things. Like...
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that Artemis cares about the mysticism of the womb or whatever. No turfs.
Yeah. No turfs. God, it's just the more you look into Artemis, the more you think, oh my goodness, she supports, like, all of the queers. Like, every single queer.
Good.
Yeah. I would go into the Orion thing more, but, like, God, I hate him. He's terrible. He usually is her hunting companion at some point, but, like, he's also canceled because of the shit that he puts her hunters through, so. But they were not dating. Let's just put that out there. He's not the only person she ever loved. I'm pretty sure she likes her brother at least a little bit. Also, her mom is really cool. Who wouldn't love Leto? She's just a slight tangent. She's just a bad bitch who, like, at one point, somebody was like, hey, I had more kids than you. You only had 2 kids. I had, like, 9. So Leto was like, Artemis, Apollo, go kill all our kids, because she's being mean to me. I'm kind of support Leto for that, though. Like, she got put through some shit to have those 2 kids. So, I support her. Niobe, you suck. Yeah. We've already been at this my Artemis talk for, like, a while. So I don't want to bring in my whole list of, like, possible hunters. But, like...
Oh boy.
I just want all of y'all to know that I did, in fact, just try to figure out who in mythology would have probably been a follower of Artemis, a hunter of Artemis, at some point, because there is no collective list anywhere.
Wild. You would think someone would have done this work. I'm sure. I don't know.
I've done this work now. I'm not gonna share it now because it's mine and mine alone.
You'll have to post it somewhere, something.
Maybe I'll just let y'all suffer. All right, let's talk about this fucking chapter because we've been talking for like a half hour and I just went off like so many times.
That's what we're here for.
All right, let's make a choice.
Indeed.
I'm just happy that Percy is like, I'm not okay. There's a lot going on. My bestie is off a cliff. This child is Artemis. I'm not okay.
That's how we all feel about it, Percy.
And then Grover's just like in love with Artemis just immediately. Which, you know, I understand because, you know, she's Artemis. And also she's like the goddess of like, she's vaguely related to the wild. And like his whole thing is like the wild.
Right. She is a nature goddess specifically, which, you know, makes it make sense. But also Grover's a vegetarian and she's the goddess of the hunt. So
ooh, okay, hot takes here. Would not work out for many reasons, but that's the bigger one, I think.
Indeed.
She ain't a vegetarian. Shit, Artemis likes meat. I had to, I'm sorry. So, glad that Thalia's priorities are Annabeth is gone. I don't care about this Artemis crap.
Well, specifically, she's angry about this Artemis crap. Like, she does not want these people here.
No, she doesn't.
Like, she's angry that Annabeth is gone, but she's also like...
she's angry at everybody, actually. Like, because she goes off at Percy, too.
She goes off on Percy, and it's like, Thalia, can you chill? Okay. Like, she's going through it. She doesn't like these people. Obviously, there's a history there, and her best friend is lost now, and it's like a bunch of bullshit. But also, girl, you're so mean to him. He's my little guy. I don't think you're allowed to be mean to him.
You know, I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, Annabeth, in what way are Percy and Thalia, like, the same person? Like, maybe it's because, like, they have, like, the same, like, fatal flaw or whatever, and, like, fundamentally that is the same, but, like, Thalia is an angry queer, and Percy is just, like, a soft boy.
Percy is not a soft boy. He's soft on the inside. Percy is a little shit. Like,
he's a little shit, but, like, he also has no idea what's going on.
okay, yes, that is true, but that's barely his fault. Like, he tried, okay? He studied in Latin class. It's very hard.
He's not usually, like, as angry as Thalia is. I think she's always, like, angry. That is her personality trait.
Okay, she is, like, more angry than Percy is, but I think part of it is that we are seeing everything from Percy's perspective, and so when Percy gets angry, we're like, yeah, that's justified. And we know, like, what other emotions he's got going on beneath that. And so Thalia seems more like she's just, like, going off for no reason. But Percy gets angry a lot. Like, do not get me wrong. Percy will also go off on a dude. Percy sent the head of Medusa to Olympus in a box as, like, some kind of sarcastic play.
He didn't do that for anger reasons. He did that he did that smiling. That was fully a, like, haha, I'm gonna do this thing, it'll be great. Fuck
he did it to piss them off, like, specifically.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Listen, he is, okay, he's your little meow meow, and, like, come on, he's just a little guy, okay? Leave him alone.
I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm saying that he and Thalia might be more similar than they seem like on the surface right now. I think that they're both very stubborn people.
Yeah, like, I don't know, there's similarities and differences, like, you can get it, but, like, at first glance, you're like, they're the same person?
Yeah.
The skater boy and that, like, goth chick? Huh?
I'd say she's more punk than goth, but...
I don't know, the way Rick describes it, it's, like, somewhere in between the two.
Yeah. Punks wear black sometimes. I don't know.
So, Bianca's just like, who are you people? I'm so confused. I'm lost.
Yeah, that's so funny when she says that.
It's like, thank you. Somebody's asking the real questions here. What's going on? We don't understand.
And Nico's like, did you kill that guy? Cool.
Nico is me. Actually, simultaneously, I think on both of them, I'd be like, okay, what's going on? That was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So we get the exposition. I love Bianca being like, an Olympian? Athlete?
Yeah.
Yes. Didn't you know? Your parents, they were both athletes. Obviously. That's why monsters chase you. So, Nico, be his nerdy self. How many attack points do you have?
Oh yeah, that scene of Percy, like, so I talked to Nico for a little bit, and then every single question that he asked me was more and more aggravating.
Because he's a 10-year-old boy!
Yeah.
What do you expect?
People just keep saying that Nico is annoying. I feel like this is about to become a theme. Leave him alone, he's 10 or whatever. Of course, Percy was like 11 or 12, so, in the first book.
Yeah, exactly. And he also asked a million questions. Did we think it was annoying? No.
That's true. But they were good questions and no one answered them.
Yeah. Correct. So yeah, Annabeth has just disappeared. Why? We don't know. She's just teleported, I guess. It's vague magic things. Not important.
What the heck?
But, like,
and then, like, we have, like, barely a conversation about it, and then we're just, like, moving on. Like, it's... Okay, so Rick's pretty good at writing with, like, consequences and stuff, but also these are pretty small, quick books, and so they kind of have to keep moving. you know, like, there's always something going on, so you don't really get time to, like, grieve when something happens.
Yeah.
This one feels especially rushed, though. Like, it's not like people don't acknowledge it. Like, even Bianca's like, that girl fell off that thing. That's not good.
Yeah. And Artemis is like, it's fine, I'll find her.
And it's causing tension between Talia and Percy, but...
Because they're both upset because they love her.
Yeah, they are.
They want her to be found. And Grover is just like, doesn't even care right now because Artemis is in the room.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right. Like, Grover, that's your bestie. She fell off a cliff and apparently disappeared. It's messed up. It's messed up. I just feel like we need a little bit, like, that's Annabeth. She's missing.
Okay.
This is an issue.
Okay, but, like, this is the moment where we're getting, like, the whole, like, satyrs really, like, nymphs and shit going on, I guess. So, it can't be in the way that it is in mythology, because it has to be a little bit sanitized, but, like, yeah, just, Grover probably has a boner this entire chapter. It's sad but true.
Which also relates to people constantly being attracted to Artemis when, like, that's not a thing. Leave her alone.
I mean, he's not pursuing her.
At least there's that.
He's just gonna be awkward and like, okay, hi Artemis, I'll do anything for you.
Grover, we have important shit going on.
Stop crushing on the asexual woman.
At least Grover is, like, probably pretty good with Nico. Like, I imagine that he's good at talking about card games.
Oh, yeah. Like, come on. We got the two biggest nerds just, like, going off in a corner.
Yeah.
Definitely. Grover is so interested. He definitely plays Mythomagic with Nico later. Mm-hmm. Like, they're besties now.
So, Mythomagic update. The figurines do appear to be related to the cards. I think you do play it with the figurines, so I don't know what kind of game it is. Because he says that he has the figurines and the holographic foils that go with them, or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of game this is.
God, I don't know enough about, like, card games. Do you use figurines in Magic the Gathering?
I do not believe so, no. No, it's a deck game.
But, like, I mean, there's, tokens or something, but, like...
You do use tokens.
Difference. What card games have figurines?
I can't think of one.
Someone explain Mythomagic.
Yeah, what is Mythomagic, guys?
I want to know.
Do you use the figurines? I just don't know.
I want to know what this game is.
Okay, what I could imagine is... So you've played D&D, right?
Yes.
Okay, what I could imagine is a game that has no, like, role-playing aspect, but has, like, grid-based combat like D&D does, where you put the figurines on a grid and then, like, you set up, like, scenarios. That would make sense, probably. But then what are the cards for?
Yeah.
Maybe just...
The cards are your attacks.
Okay, yeah, you can... Well, the cards are definitely the creatures themselves, but maybe it's just, like, the information for your creatures. Because they have, like, attack power and stuff, not, like, the name of an attack.
Wait, did he say the figurines are of the gods or of creatures?
Both.
Now I need to...
I think.
Gods and heroes.
Okay.
I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Rick?
Yeah.
Rick, please make Mythomagic a real game.
We've got to move on. This episode's running long, and we're just talking about Mythomagic.
I'm sorry! I have so many questions.
I mean, it's not running long yet, but, you know.
It's fine. I had a whole rant. I had to rant.
No.
So
I enjoyed that greatly.
So apparently Nico and Bianca have dealt with monsters before. In DC. Oh, okay. And there was a guy with ram's horns. Okay, cool. Sure. I want to know what's going on there.
Yeah.
And so they have to go to Camp Half-Blood. And God, Grover just, like, taking off his shoes to show them his hooves, and Bianca, I swear she was gonna, like, pass out.
Okay, I think Percy did pass out the first time he saw Grover without pants, so that's valid.
There were multiple reasons why he passed out, though. He just fought a minotaur. God. Yeah, so Zoe is like, hey, there's another option besides Camp Half-Blood. No, there's not. Nope. No, there isn't. I'm with Thalia. There's no other option. No. No. There's gonna be another rant in here when we get to the end of this chapter, but...
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, Thalia and Zoe, there's a lot of tension. They're having, like, an anime glare-off, I think, in this moment.
Yeah.
You know the look I mean.
Mm-hmm. And the bars, like...
Yes.
on the screen, like, you get the black on either side to, like, make it more intense.
Yes, exactly. So, Artemis goes to talk to Bianca, and then we get the nerds go off by themselves, and Thalia just yells at Percy, as we mentioned. God, but Percy finds the Yankees cap just in the snow.
Mm. Well, it's a good thing he found it, though, honestly. Like, she needs that. She'll want that back later.
I mean, it's an important tool that'll help us later. Literally, like... Percy, you could use that, because Annabeth's not here, so...
But she should be.
She really should. God, Percy's gonna make so many bad decisions because Annabeth is not around.
This does make sense as a move for Rick, because the first 2 books were Annabeth heavy. She went on both the other quests.
Well, yeah, I mean, also Percy lost a different important person to him in the first 2 books.
That's true, yeah. First Mom, then Grover, then Annabeth. Huh.
Is this a theme?
Perhaps.
Here? I wonder. So, the hunters also have, like, 1 million animal companions. Love that.
There's wolves hanging around, and Percy's like, I'm uncomfortable.
And then they have falcons. They got a lot of animal companions, familiars, if you will.
Just, like, chilling out, plus, like, the most beautiful deer.
God, love that fucking deer. Just, like, chilling. The fact that Percy's like, oh yeah, I thought that was just another, like, animal skin. Oh no, that's a
real deer. It is in here, in the tent.
It's fine. It's all good. Oh yeah, Percy was still wounded, so he finally got that fixed up.
Oh yeah, and Nico's like, it's green.
It only took us a freaking while for us to finally get Percy some help on that. I mean, he wasn't gonna die, but like,
poor little
guy. It turned
guy.
green. I don't think that's a good thing.
No.
I want to know how many of those figurines Nico has, and that'll be my last Mythomagic
Yeah,
thought.
okay, so the hunters go and get their stuff for Bianca and Nico. It was nice of them to pick up all his toys.
They're just like, oh, he's gonna need those. Glad they were nice to one boy, for once.
Okay, so Artemis is also like a midwife type thing. I bet she likes kids, including like male kids. Yeah. Because, one, they're not, like, going after girls, which I think is what she doesn't like about guys. And 2, they're just, like, children.
She's cool with Nico, because, she's like, yeah, he's, like, a cute little kid. But Percy is, like, he's just about that age where she's like, you're 14. No, you're gonna corrupt my hunters.
Where he's like, I had half a slow dance with Annabeth, and now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So these questions that Nico asks. You the son of the Poseidon, does your sword ever run out of ink? It's a pen.
Very good.
Can you surf really well? I want to know how good Percy can surf. We need the surfing.
Okay,
because he
literally
skate,
Percy
apparently.
would be so good at surfing. He should go try.
He should.
He can affect the water currents. Like, he could just, like, he wouldn't even need waves. He could just go.
Okay. So, like, you've seen Avatar. I'm just imagining, like, Avatar Kuruk, like, the waterbender guy. Who, like, he literally does that. He waterbend surfs on, like an ice surfboard. Like, that is what I'm imagining for Percy.
Yeah.
That is the life. But also, I think Percy would get the perfect trifecta of, like, because we already know he's a skater boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he can probably surf because he's the son of Poseidon. But he should also totally be able to snowboard because that's fucking frozen water. So,
we have never established that Percy has power over ice.
If he doesn't, then my life is a lie.
Okay. But it's not waterbending where it's all like, these are molecules or whatever. It's magic. Maybe if it's in a different state of matter, it's not, like, good enough.
Okay,
it's not like,
but, like,
it doesn't have water magic in it.
We have 2 franchises where water magic means that you can control all types of water, and the second franchise is H2O, where they're literal mermaids. So obviously,
but that's not that's based on, like, being a mermaid. This is based off of belief water magics. God powers have no logic, is what I'm saying to you.
This is true. I'm pretty sure Percy has, like, storm powers at some point, and that doesn't make any sense because he's not a son of Zeus.
Yeah.
But, like,
Poseidon's the Earth Shaker, right? Like
he should be able to earthbend! Oh my god!
Well, I'm saying, doesn't it have to do with, like, tsunamis and hurricanes and stuff, too?
I guess?
So,
Yeah.
if it's, like, a sea-type storm, I don't know.
I'm not a meteorologist. I don't understand this. Yeah, so to answer Nico's questions, yes, he does fight a lot with Thalia, because she's the daughter of Zeus. If Annabeth's mom is Athena, why didn't she know better than to fall off a cliff? Because she wanted to save her friends. Duh. And
Honestly,
is Annabeth his girlfriend?
Oh my goodness.
Well, wait a few minutes, Nico, okay? We're getting there. It'll take a while.
Honestly, Nico is right, though. They told her not to go attack the thing. They were gonna shoot it. They were right there to shoot it. Girl, you didn't have to jump on it. I'm just saying, usually Annabeth knows better.
Yeah,
it
but
was
she
a
wanted
lapse.
to save. It was Thalia and Percy.
Yeah.
She loves them.
Yeah.
Okay? Sorry. The description of Zoe looking at Percy like he's a bag of dirty laundry. Love that. So good. So, he's in the tent. Wonderful Deer is sitting in Artemis's lap. And she's just like, are you surprised by my age?
Which he was, so, like, yeah.
Thank you, finally, for answering this. I could appear as a grown woman, or a blazing fire. Okay.
Gods, you know. Christian God did that when he felt like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine Artemis just coming out as the burning bush. Be not afraid! This is the average age of my hunters before they go astray. Oh
yeah,
God.
she's talking about puberty. She's saying, I'm prepubescent now, and that's how I like it.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. Okay, so we got a lot of man-hating stuff going on here, which makes sense. They're a band of angry lesbians. So, except later books insinuate that they are all possibly aspec because they're not allowed to have relations at all whatsoever.
Which doesn't mean that they're all aspec. It means that they're all celibate.
Yeah. They're all at least celibate, if not.
I'm assuming some of them are aspec.
I'm assuming a lot of them are.
Okay. If Artemis's hunters have to be celibate, does that mean that they can't have romantic relationships that are non-sexual, or question?
Okay,
I would assume
I don't want to be,
but
yeah. Okay, so I don't want to be spoilery, but from what we get from later books, we don't exactly have the split model of attraction.
I see.
Talked about in that. It's just kind of like these two hunters wanted to be in a relationship, so they left.
Oh,
that's it.
Well, I mean, if that's fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't
no
mean
idea if it's this
that
way or
doesn't
that
necessarily mean like they could have just wanted to have sex. But also, if it does sort of imply though that they weren't allowed to be together in any respect in the Hunters. So, yeah.
I assume if it's anything more than a queer platonic anything, then you're out.
Yeah. Okay. That answers that. Moving on.
Yeah, that's it. So, love that Artemis turned random boy in Colorado into a jackalope.
I love that for her.
We love this.
Also, I hate it a little bit. Gods are scary.
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, yes, I like jackalopes. That's cool.
What does she say later? Percy's like, she's like, I have a plan. And Percy's like, does it involve turning me into a jackalope? And she's like, unfortunately, no. That's she's so iconic of both of them, honestly.
She is iconic, wonderful, perfect. I have a lot of notes, but still.
Percy's a sassy little guy.
Yeah. So they talk about the great stir pot, the great stirring. Mix it all together, the best of both worlds. I'm gonna keep bringing that back. So there's a monster that shall bring about the downfall of Olympus.
Sounds bad.
Yeah, and Artemis must hunt it by herself. You know, for once the gods are doing things, I guess. She's not asking for help of a demigod with this one, which is strange.
Yes. So I don't know what this great beast is, because I've literally forgotten the plot of this book, which is convenient for this podcast.
Okay, I know what it is.
So
you're welcome.
But if it is a monster, rather than, say, a titan or a god, then that means that she is allowed to hunt it. You know, like her purview is the hunt. Like we established last chapter. I was trying to say like episode or something, but
yeah,
we established last chapter.
Last time, I know tag.
that the hunt is her purview, and so she's always allowed to hunt beasts and monsters. So
yeah.
So even if it would interfere with like a titan's plans or whatever, she's allowed to do that herself rather than sending a demigod.
Yep. She doesn't say she's just gonna kill it. She's just gonna hunt it and bring it back to Olympus.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
So she knows what the monster is, possibly.
I just remember what the monster is.
There you go. So she probably knows what it is. She won't tell anybody. And yeah, let us pray that I'm wrong. You know what? There are other gods out there. She could pray to a different god. So why not?
Yeah, if she feels, yeah. If she thinks somebody else is going to be helpful.
Okay, imagine you are a Greek god. Could you pray to a different pantheon? That is a question I have. I also just really like the idea of like the gods from different pantheons like getting together and just like chilling, and or having relationships.
You got any hot ships?
None that I can recall at the moment, but I definitely do. I definitely do have some hot ships. So yeah, the campers, the hunters have apparently been to Camp Athla before, and they burned down some cabins.
Yep, love that.
I want to know what happened. Rick, can we get some like short stories or books or something about the hunters? I want some hunter shit going on. Actually, you know what I want? I want a book where it's from the perspective of a girl who decides to become a hunter. Because I don't think we have not gotten like something as straight up as that. We've gotten people who become hunters, but we don't get that perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Which I would love to get because it seems fascinating, their world.
Yeah, I want to see what the hunters do all the time. And like, then we could interact with Artemis as a character. That'd be so cool. Rook, do it.
Yeah, this Artemis specifically seems really cool.
But actually, maybe have somebody else write it. I think Rick should have either somebody else write it or like do the thing he's doing with Marco Shiro where he does like a collab thing for that, so we can get
it would make sense to have a person of a different gender do maybe that particular story.
Female for first person perspective on that story. So Bianca wins the hunt.
It was so fast, you know? It felt...
She's like, I'm thinking about it. What do I have to say? Okay, I'll say it.
Yeah.
Just,
you know?
Right there.
Which, like, is a little uncomfortable almost, because she seemed almost tranced by the idea, which happens when somebody really wants something in these books, you know?
Yeah, I don't really love how she seems like she's in a dreamy trance, because to me, that seems like it's not of her own free will, but I know it is of her own free will. I just don't... I think that was just kind of like a bad writing there moment. Just like, maybe don't have it sound like she's in a trance. Maybe. Maybe not.
Right, because it sounds like the way that Annabeth was acting, like, in Sea of Monsters when...
Yeah!
With Cersei. Cece.
Who can literally control people. So, like, no, maybe don't have it be like that.
But I think it's more like, because that's something that appeals to her, she was entranced by the idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say maybe it's just the wording there is just a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we need to close out this discussion by talking about Bianca's decision. Just a little bit, because she made a choice, and that means she's gonna leave her brother behind.
I know! Oh my goodness! Speaking of people who are just a little guy...
Yeah!
Like...
He's my boy!
They're orphaned. The only people they have is each other. And
a bank trust.
And now she's decided to go somewhere where he cannot follow without even, I don't know, like, telling him first. I don't know, like, it's not like he has to be involved in that decision, but, like, to be like, I've already done this, rather than I'm thinking about doing this, feels a little not great to me.
Yeah. Okay, so I've heard many discussions, because like I said, I've been listening to some PGO pods.
I know you have.
And, like, yeah, just so I could, like, hear, like, different opinions about this, because definitely when I first read this as a kid, I was like, what a bitch. I hate her. I'm on Nico's side fully.
She's got her own life, man.
Yeah, not to say that I'm not also of the mind that, like, maybe think about Nico, but also I understand both sides of it now.
Yeah.
I understand why Bianca wants to have this other life, because she's been an older sister. That's her whole identity, her whole life. There's no one else.
And now she wants something for herself. I can't blame her for that.
Look, what did Artemis say? You'll have a new family, and she's like, cool, people to, like, help take care of me too.
Yeah.
Like, where we can, like, be, you know, I don't have someone who is dependent on me, but I can, like, depend on other people, and we can all have this, actual, like, good relationship where it's not just one small person who asks a million questions, and I don't have all the answers because I'm still a child. But yeah. Also, just, like, once again, if we think about it as, like, the queer community, like, come on, have a fun family, like, join us. It'll be great. Have a big hug.
Which often involves leaving your biological family behind, so, like, honestly, not a bad allegory.
Yeah. And I still feel bad for Nico. I still don't 100%. Know if she should have done it that soon.
I think she needed to think about it and talk about it with him at least. But,
I think there could have been a conversation involved there, because she's like 12? She could at least be 14 before she joins the hunt. So, I'm just saying there, maybe she could have waited just a little bit, but
it was something that was important to her, and I can't begrudge her for making the decisions that are best for her.
Yeah.
So we gotta close up soon, but I actually did have, like, one more thing I wanted to talk about, which is, okay, so.
All right.
You're a child of Hades, I'm a child of Dionysus, we're, like, 12 or whatever. Artemis comes by, you get invited to join the hunt. Do you take it?
No.
No? You're gonna stay at Camp Half-Blood?
Okay. I'm sorry. Like, I did not know I was queer at that age. So, if Artemis was just like, you can't like boys, and I'd be like, why not? Honestly, I'd still be like, why not, dude? Like, don't make me, like, choose one or the other.
I see. You don't like the restrictions.
I don't like the restrictions there. Yeah. Listen, I had, like, a million crushes going on at once.
Interesting.
As a small child, so
that is not my experience. Yeah, I didn't have very many crushes. I'm somewhere on the A spec. on at least one of those spectrums. I don't know which one or where, but anyways, so I was at least a late bloomer. And this shit does appeal to me. Like, I've always been a moon bitch. Like, and hunt and, like, fancy deer and, like, you know, shooting arrows in the moonlight. Like, there is something very, for lack of a better word, romantic about the entire thing. Like, it's enticing.
Okay, the aesthetic?
The aesthetic.
Yes, 100% yes. I also love just, like, running around with a bunch of girls in the woods. All of that is great. Like I said, it's just the restrictions part. I see. Also, listen, like, I'm a Sailor Moon person. I love moon shit. This is, like, one of the things I've always said. If I were to get a tattoo, it probably would be a crescent moon. So, like, I love moon shit. I would love Artemis, but
you're not down?
I'm not down.
No.
I'm sorry, I can't be celibate.
Now, when I was 12, I didn't give a shit about relationships besides, like, the storytelling aspect of them. You know, like, the idea of it, but it's like, I could give that up, probably, if I could be 12 years old and immortal and have a bunch of gal pals.
Oh, hun, I had, like, fanfics of myself with people, so I've always been, like, a useless bisexual, let's be honest here. It's fine. My whole high school career was me writing me and Elsa fanfic.
All right. Let's close up with that. That's fun.
Yeah, let's
do plugs. You got anything?
Well, I've technically already plugged this on our bonus show. Hey, y'all should go listen to our bonus show.
It'll only cost you money.
$5 a month. But, I mean, by the time this comes out, geez, our July episode will be out. God, time is fake. We're recording in May. God. Yeah. So, I've been watching Fate Zero.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's Anime Boston weekend. I gotta be on that shit. I'm about to cosplay as Saber. And it's been so long since I've done that. Listen, I just love her because she is King Arthur and she wears a black suit. She just looks badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fate Zero, good shit. Many warnings because mature things. God, like, there's just a lot of things that I forgot about. Oh, right, the amount of serial killers on the show. It's fine. It's okay. It's all good. I like it for the, mythology, folklore kind of shit, because everybody gets to summon, like, a spirit, a heroic person from either history or, like, legend. And I like that stuff. It's very fun. I'm still questioning why Gilgamesh is, like, a blonde white man. That's still a big question I have.
You know.
Didn't know that Mesopotamia was full of white people. Didn't know that. I've also just been spending a lot of time on those wikis. Every time I watch a Fate show, I just spend, like, hours and hours on the wikis trying to remember what the fuck is, like, certain details are, because I like little details of shows. I do this for every show that I watch. But for Fate, I spend hours on the wikis instead of, like, 5 minutes looking up one detail. Because there's too many fucking shows. Anyway, Ray, go on before I go on another rant
all right. All right, my turn. All right. Have you ever heard of 17776?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
All right.
Sounds familiar.
All right. So, sorry, I'm just trying to think of, like, how to explain what this thing is. So there's a website called SB Nation. It's Sports Ball Nation. Sports Blog Nation. Not Sports Ball, that's funny. Anyways. So people blog about sports, and then this guy, John Boyes, made a sports blog that looks like an article about football, and then, like, It's called What Football Will Look Like in the Future. And then all the text, like, zooms in, and it's, like, really weird. And then it's a sci-fi story about satellites, and, they watch people play football, and it's about the nature of humanity and immortality. Because
I'm so confused.
In the year 776, everyone is immortal and can't be injured. And so it's about, like, how humanity deals with that, like how relationships evolve given an immortal time frame, and how hobbies evolve. And so football of the future, oh my god, the football that they play that spans, like, several states. The first game that the satellites watch, some girl, she's got the ball, and there's a tornado, and she's like, I know how I can escape from the runners, and she goes in the tornado and lets it throw her. So that's what football is like in the future. I highly, highly recommend it. It will make you feel some emotions about satellites. Oh my god. It will make you feel some emotions about some satellites.
Problem is, I don't understand sports ball.
No, don't. It doesn't even matter. Don't even, just skim the football parts. Like, it does. Like, football has nothing to do with what is actually happening here. Yeah.
Oh
I just think that's the funniest way to write a story on a sports blog website. And then to make it like a multimedia, like, sci-fi epic. But it's not actually an epic, it's pretty short. It has a sequel that I think is half done, like, the second half of it got delayed. The sequel is also very good, but unfortunately it's unfinished. It's like, I can't remember what the number is. It's because it started coming out in 2020, so it's like 20020, I think. I don't know, though. Anyways, highly recommend. That's all.
Once again, we are weirdo nerds who like very strange things. Oh, well, this has been a freaking episode with many Charlie rants.
All right, yeah, we ran over our time. We gotta get going.
Well,
I've been trying to tell Charlie that we need to have under an hour-long episodes. We did not make it this time. We did it the
first couple times.
We did.
This time.
I think it's gonna be fine. This one we were just low energy, so it took us a little longer. And also we had a lot of stuff to go over. Like,
yes.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, now I'm just prolonging it. We're going.
God. Ray, get out of my fucking cabin and go join the Hunters of Artemis.
Get out of Camp Half-Blood altogether.
Go to freaking cabin 8. Get out of my cabin.
Alright. You can follow the podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send an Iris message to us through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, go to patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Movie Night Crew Network server, where you get to chat with us and hear some no-context spoilers about episodes we are recording. I personally recommend the $5 tier, where you get access to Against All Odds, our bonus show where we talk about basically anything vaguely related to mythology, Percy Jackson, or whatever we like. We also have a merch store on TeePublic, where all our designs are made by Charlie. Or if you cannot support us financially, please give us a review on iTunes and rate us on Spotify to help others know how much you love this podcast. You can follow me, Ray, at HeyHeyRay on Twitter. I also have another podcast called Barbie Movie Slap, where my co-host Ted and I talk about the Barbie cinematic universe. You can check out that podcast Twitter at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter, I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram that I sometimes use at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mack, that's MACK, and I also have another podcast on the network called Fandoms Gone Wrong, where my mom and I talk about movies, TV shows, books, whatever other fandoms we enjoy. You can find that on all the major podcast podcasting apps. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be part of the Movie Night Crew Network, which features great podcasts like My Cabbages, an Avatar podcast that follows the true hero of the Avatar The Last Airbender series, the Cabbage Cart Guy.
Coffee, tea, honor, cabbage. Long ago, the four elements lived in harmony. Then, shit went totally cray when the Avatar attacked. Only the Cabbage Man, merchant of fine cruciferous vegetables, could stand against his trolling. But when the world needed some dank veg, he vanished. 10 years have passed, and my partner and I have started a new podcast.
My Cabbages! An Avatar podcast.
A weekly show about Avatar The Last Airbender. Whether it's Sokka's new line of cologne...
Hey, look at you, sitting there on a seal. Well, now look back at me. I'm on an even bigger seal. Now look away.
D&D related antics.
You have to make an acrobatics check for that, and Aang just unzips his pants and whips out his D20s. He's just like, I got this.
Or randomly breaking into song.
Go bending waterfall.
We'll stumble our way through the greatest show ever made, one episode at a time.
You can reach us at CabbageCast, which is our Twitter, or
subscribe wherever you catch pod.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
Why am I opening the book? I keep opening the book and I'm like, wait, I'm not even talking about the book yet. Stop opening the book.
I forget where I put mine, and I don't actually need it, but it's I want to hold it.
I literally, okay, so this is what I do. I don't take notes. I just flip through the book and I'm like, okay, so this is what happens and this is what happens. Because with a book, I can physically have it there.
Mm-hmm.
With a movie or a TV show, that's so much harder, so I need notes. With a book, I can just look at it. And that is my notes.
Yep.
That movie sucked. I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.